At this time, I would like for the council to look at the agenda and ask for approval, and then subject to, well, really not subject to additions because of the special meeting tonight, so.
We can't add anything, but can we ask a question?
Yeah.
When will we get the law enforcement interlocal agreement? Because it hasn't gone over yet, we haven't
I
had any
talked
reading.
with Brian Means today, and he's supposed to get with Steve Bates, Attorney Bates, and get that prepared, but they have been dragging their feet on that, and I don't understand what's going on either, but that's what we talked about today.
Thank you.
Sure. I need a motion to accept the agenda tonight.
I make a motion.
Second. Second for motion for the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Jennifer? Yes. Joe? Danny?
Yep.
Early? And Todd?
Yes.
In the business tonight, first off, we're going to be talking about the resolution for the fire protection services. Okay, the resolution number 252, 2019. This resolution of the City of Crittenden and Grant County adopting an agreement for fire protection services. Whereas the City of Crittenden, Grant County, Kentucky is a Kentucky municipal entity and a home rule city acting by and through its city council and mayor, and which engages in activities governmental. Whereas the City of Crittenden, Kentucky, by consent of council hereby authorizes the mayor to enter into an agreement with Crittenden and the Community Volunteer Fire Department, Incorporated, pursuant to the agreement reviewed during the June 4th regular scheduled council meeting. Now therefore, be it hereby resolved that the City Council of Crittenden, Kentucky, for behalf of the City of Crittenden, Kentucky, empowers and authorizes the mayor and city clerk treasurer of the City of Crittenden, Kentucky, to make and execute all agreements and tender any necessary monies due pursuant to that agreement. This was read, moved, and approved by the City Council of the City of Crittenden, 4th day of June, 2019.
No changes to that document since the
What's
fourth.
on? At this time, I'd like to come up to the podium and address the council. Next on the business agenda is the budget for the year 2019-2020. In reference, was all the council aware of this proposal? Was there any not aware of the council's proposal the last time we met?
I wasn't here, but I did receive it.
You received it, so everybody was aware. In reference to the council's proposal for the 2019-2020 budget, I asked for the previous proposed budget to be explained by our clerk and treasurer, Megan Simpson. Ms. Simpson has worked as treasurer for 19 years without issue or derogatory findings, and has worked with me to understand the day-to-day city functions of the budget, and the budget must be proposed in reference to the state requirements and audit finance. I believe you will find that the council's proposed budget that stated a savings of $157,799 is due to several discrepancies. The city, in order to function properly, has for the past several years with Ms. Simpson, must realize and understand how city operations are handled. And I want Megan to explain each monetary reason why that proposal that council has made is not saving $157,799, but is not understanding how the city government, how that function works. At this time, Megan's going to go over the budget.
First and foremost, while going over the budget information, I mean, no disrespect to anyone who helped prepare the council's budget. I just feel a need to explain to the council how the mayor and I can work together to come up with the numbers that went into the budget that we prepared. Looking at the council's proposed budget, I see that we agreed on the revenue sources, that there was no changes made to revenue, so I'm gonna just go past that. I'm gonna start with the general fund, general government fund, which you all had laid out on page 2. I usually lay that out on page 3 of the budget that I gave you guys. I've broken down administrative fees. That includes everybody's pay compensation. That is for the mayor, that is for the council, myself, JD, Donna. Extra pay in there is added in for Donna for when it's tax time, because there's about a part in there, there's a month that when we prepare taxes to go out to get them back in, that she has to work extra. I've also included the code enforcement salary in that. Also included ABC administration salary in there since it is an ordinance. Since it's under law, it's ordinance and we're supposed to pay it, I did include that in there. So that's where I came up with my number for all that. And I included overtime if the clerk had to come to the council meetings or anything like that. It's better to go ahead and include it, factor it in, and then if we don't need it, it doesn't come out of the budget. And then for the payroll taxes, I took the estimated cost that I've got and I times that by 6.2% and 1.45%, which is for Social Security and Medicare, the part that the city would know. So that's where I came up with my payroll tax numbers. The retirement, I took what was proposed for JD and myself, even if it was figured in as overtime, just so it's in there, and times it by the 24.06% that the Kentucky State Retirement System calls for the city to pay on us. Moving right along, the health and dental and life insurance, I've got back the proposals from KLC for JD and myself to have insurance. The health insurance for both of us would be $15,432 for a year. Dental insurance would be $542.64 a year on both of us. Life insurance is at $190,000 or $190.80 to make a grand total of $16,165.44. Which I showed that it was only budgeted for $14,000, so we need to move that up some. The council proposal was.
I'm sorry, Megan, what was your number for the health and dental?
Altogether, $16,165.44.
Thank you.
Okay, the advertising fees, looks like the number came from what we spent as of June 30th, 2018 was what you all proposed in your budget of $877. As of June the 6th, we'd already spent $947.87 in advertising. Last week, I received a bill for $275, so we're well over that amount. The accounting services, I show you all had $10,000 in there for that. We've had a 3-year contract with Bramall and Ackley for the cost of the audit. The cost of the audit, let alone, is $10,250. Bottom Line Services also helps prepare everything for the audit. They have to come in and look at our books. They help with the UFIR report that goes to Frankfurt. They correspond with the auditors. So they're a separate cost from that $10,250. Legal services, I show that with we have proposed 20,000 in the budget. Legal services, let alone for Alex, just to be on a retainer, is $10,800. That does not include anything extra if we're involved in any kind of litigation, or if we're taking people to small claims court, or anything like that. So that is built to the side of that. With that being said, it's hard to know what that's gonna be. Okay, going on with the engineering fees. I show that council's proposal was $650. At the June 2nd meeting, we discussed the payment of $4,938 to Calvert Engineering, which was, I believe Joe said, a partial payment.
It's a partial, that was a survey work that engineering for the package you had to do. The total, he pretty well committed to do for a total of 10,000.
10,000.
That's what I remember.
So we'll have that cost into engineering fees. And I think we proposed about 10,000 because we didn't know what they would need once they got out there on Oakwood. The code enforcement committee, I showed that it was budgeted $225. My understanding from that board is there's 4 members on the board. They get paid $25 a meeting, so that's $100, and they are scheduled to have at least 4 meetings per year. So that's at least $400, but Wanda told me there could possibly be additional meetings if need be for hearings and stuff like that. Moving along. Communication and postage. As the beginning of June, the city had spent $5,934 in communication and postage in the budget. Looks like you all proposed $5,000. I look for this amount to go up next year. Code enforcement officer will have to start sending out, before they can do a hearing, they have to send everything certified. Certified is about $7 a piece to send those out. Then on insurance, I received the insurance bill for the property, workers' comp, liability, anything like that. For the city of Crittenden, the invoice I received that's due and payable by July the 15th is $20,808. So we will definitely have to increase that. You all had 18,000 down for that. Office expenses, we had quite a few in the old budget because we had the cameras, QuickBook update, we had to go from 16 to 19, had new flooring, stuff like that. Something we need to think about in office expenses is if we're going to get microphones for in here. I know that had been talked about. Dues and subscriptions, as of June the 7th, we'd already spent $3,179.94. That includes dues for Kentucky League of Cities, Chamber of Commerce, QuickBooks, Post Office Box, bonds for the employees, anything like that, the dues and subscriptions are. Fees, those are payments made to Board of Adjustment members for the meetings that they attend if they have meetings. They are paid, I think the chairman, since they have to prepare the minutes, they get paid $50 and the members get $25. And then there's also money in there if we have to put liens on properties. I think if we put a lien on the property, it's like $13 to put it on and $13 to take it off. Training and education, this year we spent a total of $3,565.70. I know that we lowered that because we won't have everybody going to KLC at the beginning of the year. The copier service, Modern Office Mom, or no, it's Millennium is who it is. They bill us quarterly, and for 3 quarters, we owe them $172.38. The more you copy, the more it goes up. The Grant County Sewer District, I budgeted $13,000. As of June the 7th, we paid them $9,823. We should have 2 more payments to them, probably around $975 apiece. The beautification, we put money in there for the landscaping of the city building and the city sign, which was around $1,600. Equipment, I had estimated, Mr. West had given me estimates for 2 laptops and an office computer would be around $3,357. Mr. Spaniard also gave me a proposal on that today too, and his was around $5,000. Those are brand new Dell computers. Looking back at page 1 of the proposed budget in the council, the law enforcement was what we talked about, fire department. On the public works, the mayor and I had sat down and figured out $101,250. Public works, we had $10,000 in there for any kind of street or sidewalk repairs. We had $1,500 in there for post office repairs, since we own the post office and we're responsible for any of those repairs. We had $1,500 in there for fire department repairs, anything we have to fix at the fire department. We had city vehicles, $4,000, that's fuel and repairs. We had workers' lunch in there, if any of the, we had the inmates and we had to take them to lunch or anything, we put $250 in there. I had general maintenance, around $3,000, that's anything, street signs, bulbs, anything for just general maintenance. Lawnmower repairs, stuff like that. Oakwood Drive, we had set aside $81,000, hoping that with the $81,000, we will, we applied for a TAP grant and for municipal road, or for the municipal road aid emergency money grant. So we're hoping that one of those will come through too. So if we cut that down, I only see it taken away from Oakwood. Sanitation and trash, I had $100,000 set aside for that. As of June 11th, we're already at $98,733.07. And I have a feeling we could be getting one more bill in on that, so that might be even a little low. The city might have even budgeted low on that one, and it should be more like $110,000, because another bill for that would be around $8,000. I had included on the mayor's budget, I had included the $20,000 for the city council attorney under the general government page, because that's where the auditors told me to put it. They told me to line item it as the city council attorney. And at the May 7th meeting, you all asked for $20,000 to be put in there, line item, so that's what I put in there. On the council's proposed budget, I see that you all cut that to $10,000. Along with your all's proposal, was there any more than these 2 pages?
No, this was just amendments to these 2 pages.
Okay. Because that would have left out the municipal road aid.
Right, we didn't change anything on that. I would like to say that that's a very good explanation, and it would have been helpful if we had received that explanation when we were handed the budget. And also, if we could start getting quarterly comparisons of where we are as spending on each line item.
Okay.
Do you think we could do that?
Yeah, I had it on there on the proposed packet. It says actual
Right.
9 months.
Right.
Was
But
on that.
do you do those for quarterly?
I can do those.
Okay.
And I'd like to add, you're right about that, Jennifer. What I'd like to see happen next year is possibly a workshop, and that way we can understand this more.
Yeah.
And I know Carrollton Mayor advised they do like a workshop. Now, I don't know legally, I'd have to talk to the attorneys to see if that's get everybody together, that's what makes it hard, and so it wouldn't be considered a quorum, you know,
It's a good idea.
Caucus.
Could we do the caucus though?
we maybe okay. And that way we can do that workshop together, so that we'll explain how the city government works and how those numbers are. And in all due respect to the council and to Megan for going over that, thank you.
Kind of like you're talking about, Mayor, like kind of like a finance committee.
Well, not really a committee, but us get together and do a workshop and go over each line item and what goes out for that. And that way, that's a better understanding. Any more questions?
Well, we can always amend the budget like we have before in the past, right? When changes come up.
We can. I know that Oakwood, you know, that's a little bit less than what the proposed amount is to take care of Oakwood, but we can always amend that for Oakwood. We're still hoping, in hopes of that municipal, not municipal, but Northern Kentucky ad giving us that grant, that TAP grant for $120-some thousand. So we're in hopes of that. And this way, with the budget, I don't believe that we're gonna have to tap into our reserves. And that's a goal of mine, that we can still, you know, work with the revenues that's coming in and not go into our CDs and what we have that helps, you know, revenue through the year and interest on that for those CDs. So that's my proposal.
Back in April 4th, we amended the budget and put $150,000 for the trailer park cleanup.
Right, it's
And we
nowhere.
only ended up using not even 75,000, right? So there's like 75,000.
Yeah, it's, okay. And that has to explain how that rolls over, Megan, with the auditor.
The auditor basically explained to me that was in the resources, the beginning cash balance. That's how they carry it over, so then we'll have to go through there from that point.
And we still, you know, should have quite a bit left with that. And at the next caucus meeting, we'll address that Worthington trailer park. In July, he should be finishing up.
But
his
a clarification,
Yes.
unspent money though can't be moved from one category to another without a budget amendment, right?
Right.
That's my understanding. So even though it's there, you can't really
Yes.
spend it unless it falls into that category. Okay.
I would like to just bring up that, and ask, I did review the procurement policy, and according to our current procurement policy, we can only spend $10,000.
The state overrides the city ordinance.
I don't think that's true. Is that true, Dee?
According to KLC, it's 20,000.
It is 20,000, the state says, but cities can restrict it further. Yes.
And you were trying to restrict it, I'm sorry, I missed that part of the question.
So the
Existing.
existing procurement policy says that small purchase procedures are that we don't spend over $10,000 without bringing that back to the council. And that has happened, and if we could get an agreement that we will stick by this, our procurement policies, I would be more comfortable in approving most of this budget today